I will go to Ravi Kumar ji. So apart from these 4 or 5 points, what both of them have said, do you feel there is any other important challenge which this particular industry is still facing?
I think sometimes being in the last to comment on the topic is very difficult because most of it is already covered. In the interest of time and the content, probably I will not repeat what was already mentioned, but probably just summarizing it in terms of three important aspects what we talked about. One is people, one is process, and the third one is packaging. So three P's. So people is the one what Mr. mentioned in terms of skill development, awareness of cold chain packaging, awareness of what impacts are there in case if you're not using the right packaging or right temperature conditions. Second is processes. Processes is it is more in terms of regulatory, in terms of quality processes within the organization, which is very important that it is not only that we give training to people, but that training, imparting training, but the processes also have to be developed in a way that you are using the right solution for the right kind of product and right kind of temperatures what is required. And I mentioned about regulatory. I think regulatory is also a very important aspect which plays similar to traffic police connotation what Avinash mentioned. Until unless we have a policy, until unless we have a regulation, people tend to take shortcuts. That is where we are working with the regulatory bodies also to come out with a appropriate GDP policy. There is an draft GDP policy which is there in the public notice already, where they are collecting the opinions from the public so that an appropriate GDP policy can be rolled out, and that will definitely influence the manufacturers and the service providers also to play a critical role in terms of what kind of packaging needs to be used for the temperature conditions which is needed. I think that's the second P, and the third P is the packaging solutions. Gone are the days where we don't have validated solutions in India. There are a lot of multinationals, a lot of Indian companies who are developing very good quality packaging systems, which is appropriate for Indian conditions as well. I think choosing the right packaging solutions based on the product requirements, based on the temperature conditions is very important for us, so that we are not treating a pharmaceutical product like any other FMCG product. In fact, we see so many trucks which are moving on the road with all the cold drinks and water bottles. The same cold drinks, when you go to buy in the retail store, it is taken out of the fridge. So we are witnessing how the cold drinks are treated on the road, which is in the open trucks, exposed to plus 40 or plus 45 degrees temperature. But can we treat medicines also like that? If the medicine is exposed to plus 45 degrees in an hot summer Ahmedabad climate, and then you take it out of a fridge at the chemist shop, it doesn't perform. No, the efficacy is gone. And it is not only the efficacy, but basically the medicine can act as a poison when it is administered to the patient, but you'll never realize it is because of the medicine. So I think that awareness is very important for us, and we should definitely not play with the lives of the patient and ensure that you are using the right packaging solution for the kind of requirement what you have.
So I think you mentioned about this GDP. It means you wish to say that there are different yardsticks for the domestic market and for the export market. Do you feel that such kind of difference is there in the regulations also, or what are those points? If you can elaborate upon those.
I think Dr. Somani, you are putting an stir in the coffee cup now.
That's my job basically here.
When we are talking about domestic yardsticks for domestic and export markets, the reality is, the truth is basically we are treating domestic markets and export markets differently because the regulations are different.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't mean to say that the product in the domestic market is inferior in
Correct.
quality. I don't mean to say that. But basically, the yardsticks are different. The regulations are different. The quality parameters are different. But when it comes to the consumption of the product, of course, it is the same product which needs, which demands the quality of the product for the domestic market and the international market. Coming specifically to the cold chain packaging, yes, there are no regulations which are governed in the Indian market. And that is the reason It is open for your own assumptions. What is right for the product, what is what you feel is appropriate for the product, but there is no standardization. But when it comes to exports, every country, every regulated market have their own GDP guidelines. So we are bound to follow those guidelines. And that is the reason there is a difference in terms of how we interpret them.